Hey guys, what is going on? AwesomeTheSauce here, and today I decided that I would do a different type of video because Mirage is out, and something happened immediately, just absolutely immediately, that really captured my attention. And it is a text box that you see right now, like this dialogue that you see between the character and Mellori. As you can see, right, it seems like a perfect normal day. Then she says, "I'll be here," like that it triggers me in a really profound way, and because I really think it was a deliberate move by KingsIsle to make Mellori something of a character that is much more profound than other characters. So welcome to the theory that I'm about to propose. Maybe your mind will be blown, I don't know, but hear me out on this, because this is actually probably the reason this is so big. Is probably this is one of the first times we've ever had a character from one world that's introduced in one world follow us and help us in other worlds. That very rarely happens. The only other time I can even think of that actually occurring is between Chrysalis Part 1 and Chrysalis Part 2, when the homie Divim, I don't know how you say the name, he decided to come with us. But even still, that's part of the same world. I really cannot think of another example where someone we met in one world helps us in another world, and that's what happens in Mirage. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys. However, I am going to use the first dialogue, the first interaction you have with Mellori, as a way to segue into the reason why I think Mellori is much more significant than just any regular character. That ... here just shows that she's anywhere but in Ravenwood that entire time. And the reason that really signals to me something is because she's actually done a lot of mysterious things in Polaris. Now, if you're wondering what I'm talking about that one time in Polaris where you actually have to question the Oracle. It's basically the source of knowledge, and you question it to know where you want to go next. And something that really stood out to me, and I'm sure, it stood out to a lot of people, is that Mellori actually let us keep going on with our adventures, and she stopped by and asked the Oracle her own types of questions, or she has something to say, something to ask. We are still unaware of what she asked. So that's something that's very strange, because Baba Yaga, who's supposed to be her mother, basically, said she shouldn't question the Oracle, and she did. So not only was she defying Baba Yaga in doing that, she's also doing something mysterious that we are completely not aware of. And that ... that just shows that there's something going on with her that we just haven't seen in other characters. Now, here's my theory. I think it's pretty well supported. It's up to you. Tell me what your opinion of the entire thing is, because I really do want to know. First things first, with the introduction of Polaris, we're using shadow magic at a level that Grandmother Raven is really disappointed in us about. Like, we are using it to a point where Morganthe used it at that same level, and she became evil. So Grandmother Raven, we had this little interaction. I'll put the dialogue up in the screen right now, and she basically said that she has her eyes on us, like we are stepping out of our bounds and using shadow magic, and she's really scared that we're going to turn to the dark side. She's encouraging us to choose the light side, and we have really turned to the dark side. Now, the reason that happened is because we decided that freeing Old Cobb was the best way to go about our situation in Chrysalis, and by freeing Old Cobb, we freed someone who Grandmother Raven locked away. So by doing that, not only are we learning shadow magic, we're also freeing this creature that basically symbolizes shadow magic. So we're really doing stuff that isn't very heroic at all. We're actually imperfect characters in that way, and it really goes to show that we done goofed. All right, we done goofed, and Grandmother Raven isn't happy about it. So my theory is that Mellori is a creation of Grandmother Raven that comes after us to make sure that we're guided on the right path. I think Mellori is going to follow us through multiple worlds, and that was proven. Like, I was waiting to make this video to see if she would show up and actually be significant in Mirage as well. She shows up immediately, and she actually journeys with us into the world. If you haven't gotten that far, I'm going to do a walkthrough of it and explain it anyways. But what I really do think is that Mellori is a creation of Grandmother Raven, and I think whatever her relationship with Baba Yaga is, it's definitely not something that like transcends past the Grandmother Raven thing. I think you can actually be like an adopted daughter of Baba Yaga. She could have just been found in the middle of nowhere. I'm just saying, Who would have married Baba Yaga? All right, who would have married Baba Yaga? No, like, just think about that for a second. Nobody. I'm not trying to be mean, all right? But ain't no one gonna, like, come on. You know, you've heard of the conversation when a guy and a gal love each other very much, you know? No, that didn't happen here. So, I refuse to believe that Mellori is related to Baba Yaga at all. They don't look alike. I mean, I know it's a game, but come on. Like, you know, I need to know. I need to know some more details. So that's the first thing, right? That's my first piece of evidence, believe it or not. My second piece of evidence is that she's questioning the Oracle and she's staying behind. That just rings a bunch of bells for me, just because what kind of questions is she asking? She's doing something that we're not aware of, and finally, she said, "I'll be ... here." When we talked to her in the first part of Mirage. And we know Grandmother Raven is the voice of the narrator, meaning she's been everywhere. When we met her at Winter Tusk, we knew that she was absolutely everywhere. So, basically, I think that Mellori is just like how how the rat basically embodied, Rasputin embodied the rat. That was Grandfather Spider's creation. I think Mellori just embodies a creation of Grandmother Raven. But guys, I know there will always be skeptics, and this is a piece of proof that I think will really set this in stone, alright? I decided to do a little bit of researching, because I'm Indian. I felt extra Indian today. So I decided to look up, where does the name Mellori come from? Now, you can look this up if you want, but Mellori in Latin means raven. It means raven. So, that's, like, come on, that's gotta mean something. Like, there are so many people in movies, all kinds of things in the film industry. They've made the names of people basically what they are. Like, I learned this when watching Pitch Perfect. Darth Vader is it's just called a Dark Father in German. So anyone could have technically found some kind of plot twist where he's a father of someone, you know? And in that same way, I think Mellori's name, meaning Raven, just means that she is indeed either Grandmother Raven in another form, or one of the descendants of Grandmother Raven. I tend to believe that she's more of Grandmother Raven herself, just because of that ... here line, you know, that shows that it's deliberate, you know, she's not here, she's everywhere. I think that's what it is. I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but in the way the spiral's supposed to work, I think of the Titans as being fire, ice, and storm, and then Bartleby being life, the old Cobb being death, and Grandmother Raven by default being myth. You know, I feel like those are the initial creatures that, you know, form the lore of Wizard101. Baba Yaga is a myth professor, and if Grandmother Raven correlates with myth, then, you know, that would make sense why a child of myth is given, like, you know, Mellori in that form. That's what I think, you know. Tell me if you guys feel that as well. I think there are obviously so many ways you can look at it, but the main reason I decided to make this is because it seems like Mellori is actually going to follow our adventures a lot, the Raven. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if I should do more Wizard101 theory videos. Tell me how I can improve these videos, because it's the first time I'm making it. It can't be super high quality, but I hope you guys got something out of it, because it is a seriously big thing that I think people are ignoring. Like, the fact that Mellori means Raven is just a huge red flag, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just me. So, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, if someone hasn't told you you're awesome today, they're doing something wrong. So, stay awesome, bros. Yeah,